Yo, what's up, Gemini? Welcome to monthly forecast for the month of February 2018. Gemini, I was taking a look at some of the planetary aspects this month, and I noticed a theme. I noticed that in the first half of the month, it's like some of you guys are really, I'm not saying all of you, but some of you are really attracted to somebody who's either in a faraway place, or for others of you, this person might be local, somewhere close to you, but they're from a cultural background that's different from yours. But it's interesting because halfway through the month, and this just fits your personality so well, it just sort of shifts. It shifts more to, now all of a sudden you're having an attraction for somebody who's in your career. So it's interesting because you're a Gemini and you like variety. So it's almost like, some of you might even think like, hey, like I wish I could have both. But, obviously that's not realistic, or maybe it is for some of you. But I did notice that about astrological aspects for you this month. And then also we have the new moon partial solar eclipse, which is going to be occurring mid-month. And it's a pretty significant event for you. This particularly has to do with faraway places, foreign cultures. It has to do with spirituality. So a lot of you Gemini are becoming really fascinated with a spiritual subject of some sort. But the sun is going to be in an area for you throughout the month of February 2018 that has to do with faraway places, foreign cultures, spirituality. So these are important aspects throughout the first 3 weeks for you Gemini of the month of February 2018. So, not all Gemini are going to be jet setting to a distant location, but some of you are. Others of you might be involved somehow with somebody who's in a distant location throughout the month of February 2018. Others of you know somebody who's local, but they're from a cultural background that's different from yours. And if it's not resonating for you like that, then you do have a fascination with a spiritual subject, some of you. And then the sun's going to shift on February 18th. And then it's time to put your professional hat on. So you're going to get really busy in your career. And following February 18th, this area also, where the sun is going to shift to, this area also has to do with authority figures. So there's going to be more interactions with your bosses and your coworkers and your clients. But those are the main themes for you, Gemini, for the month of February 2018. Now I'm going to talk about some more specific major astrological events that are set to occur this month and what they mean for you. Right off the bat on February 1st, Saturn is aspecting Juno. And Juno has to do with soulmates. So this is sort of what I said in the beginning of the forecast. Juno's in this area that has to do with faraway places, has to do with foreign cultures, has to do with spirituality. And I'd say for some of you, I'm not saying for all of you, if you are trying to figure out who your soulmate is, or a soulmate, if you're trying to figure out where a soulmate is in your life, right now Juno's in this area that has to do with someone who's from a cultural background that's different from yours. So potentially that is the case for some of you. For others of you, this person might be in a distant location. And it's connecting with Saturn, and Saturn is pretty serious. So Saturn is the planet of permanence, Saturn is the planet of long term, and it's connecting with Juno, which has a lot to do with soulmates on February 1st. Now, if that's not the case for some of you, for others of you, maybe this is more about something that has to do with your line of business and somebody who's in a faraway place, or potentially a contractual agreement could somehow play into this, or an investment of some sort. On February 3rd, the sun is making an opposition to the North Node, so they're on opposite ends of the sky, and they're facing off. You have the sun here, North Node here, and they're facing off. And this has to do with you're communicating. Some of you are communicating to someone who's in a faraway place potentially, and this conversation might not be the easiest of conversations because it is a planetary opposition. The planets are facing off. Or in this case, it's the sun and the North Node are facing off. So whoever you're talking to is in a faraway place. This might be sort of difficult right around February 3rd. If you're not talking to somebody in a faraway place, potentially some of you are communicating with someone who's from a cultural background that's different from yours on February 3rd. The conversation might be a bit difficult. And for others of you, you might be thinking about a spiritual subject of some sort, and some of you might have some difficulty understanding certain aspects or components of it. On February 8th, Mercury is aspecting Neptune. So this, once again, faraway places, career, somehow some of you have the two integrated potentially. So for others of you, if you're not going somewhere, if faraway places in your career doesn't have anything to do with your life on February 18th, or excuse me, on February 8th, then potentially this is like your career is sort of taking up too much of your time. It's not leaving you with enough freedom in your life to do what you want to do, to enjoy yourself and be more adventurous. So it's going to resonate differently for all of you. On February 12th, Mars is aspecting Uranus. So this is especially, the way I see this one is big time for if you're single. So single Geminis should definitely be trying to look for a relationship online. So do you know somebody from social media potentially that you're interested in? Maybe send them a DM, maybe send them a Facebook message, comment on their post, like their flirt with them a little bit. Like, you're a master of flirtation, Gemini. So, for others of you, you might be able to find someone nice on I don't know if you want to try like an online dating app. I don't know if you're really into that or not, but whether you are or if you're not, maybe you should give it a try. So you might end up having a stroke of luck there on February 12th, because Mars would indicate a sexual attraction in a relationship, or to somebody who you have the potential to be in a relationship with. Potentially this person is either somewhere online, or maybe you're meeting them on a dating app or a dating site or whatever. So it's going to resonate differently for all of you. On February 15th, there's the new moon partial solar eclipse. This one has to do with new stuff coming down the pike in the 6 months that follow February 15th. Somehow, faraway places are factoring into your life in the 6 months that follow February 15th. And this is pretty significant. This is like the universe saying this is a highlight, Gemini. So whatever is coming in the 6 months that follow February 15th, it stands out more in your life than another new. So, usually you have just a normal new moon. This one's a partial solar eclipse because it's the eclipse. It says that there's something significant about it, something significant about a faraway place in your life in the 6 months that follow February 15th. Or it has to do, that's not the case for all of you. For some of you, it might have to do with someone who's local from a foreign culture, or local from a cultural background that's different from yours. Some of you are really going to be getting interested in a spiritual subject of some sort. So it's going to be different for all of you. Gemini, on February 20th, Mercury is going to aspect Pluto, and this would imply a conversation about a contractual agreement of some sort for some of you, or you're having conversations in your career, in your business partnerships that are sort of intense. Maybe for others of you, they might be profound. A select few of you might have a sexual attraction to somebody potentially who's in your career. For others of you, this might have to do with a shared resource situation. So look out for that one on February 20th. On February 22nd, Saturn is aspecting Ceres, the asteroid. Now, Ceres has to do with separation, and it's in this area that has to do with communication. So I'm not saying all Gemini are going to go out and start communicating about a separation. No, but I'm not going to lie to you. Some of this might resonate like that for some of you. And just know that if you are communicating about a separation of some sort on February 22nd or right around that time, then just know that there's going to be a better situation coming in. Everything happens for a reason, Gemini, and everything's meant to be. So, if there is a separation of some sort, Ceres, the asteroid, is aspecting Saturn, which is a planet of restructure, and the angle they're making to each other has to do with a change of direction. So some of you, this has to do with a shared resource situation for some of you. So, potentially some of you might be changing directions regarding, who you want to share your resources with. Potentially this is going to be about a separation for some of you. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but just know there's something better coming down the pike if that's the case. If it doesn't have to do with your shared resource situation, potentially this might have to do with a business contract or a deal or a partnership of some sort. So look out for that right around February 22nd. On February 25th, Mercury is aspecting the asteroid Pallas Athena, which is transiting an area that has to do with secrets in your life, Gemini. So definitely some closed door conversations happening on February 25th. Now, are they business oriented? Yeah, for some of you, potentially this has to do with business. This has to do with career matters. This has to do with professional life. Others of you, this might be you communicating to someone who, maybe it's more than business potentially for some of you. Maybe it's a more of a personal thing. for some of you right around February 25th. So look out for that. Look out for secret conversations or closed door conversations, private interactions regarding your career, professional life right around February 25th. On February 27th, Venus is aspecting Pluto. This is undoubtedly an attraction that you have for somebody in your career, your professional life. Venus would indicate some sort of attraction there that you have for somebody in your career, professional life, business partnerships. For others of you, this might have to do with creativity. So if it doesn't have to do with an attraction that you have for somebody, potentially maybe something creative that's going on in your line of business, something creative going on in your career. Once again, Venus is aspecting Pluto on this day, so potentially this can be sort of a profound situation for some of you. Maybe for others of you, it's a little bit more intense. Somehow a business deal might happen or right around February 25th, 27th, or maybe it has to do with a contract for some of you. For others of you, this is about a shared resource situation. I think that's all I have for you this month, Gemini. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'm on Instagram, Gregory Furlan Official. I'm on Facebook, Gregory Furlan. Thank you for watching. Have a great month, and I'll see you next time.